60 million years ago, massive predatory animals ruled the vast, swampy forests of South America. These dense, humid jungles were the domain of creatures that defied modern imagination. Titanoboa, a colossal snake, reached sizes that dwarfed even the largest modern buses.
These primeval forests were its home until extreme environmental changes led to its extinction.
But what would happen if this giant, the largest snake ever discovered, still roamed today? In the warm, humid forests of the Amazon, some of the world's heaviest snakes reside.
The green anaconda is a water-loving creature, perfectly adapted to this environment. They are large enough to consume a full-grown deer or even a jaguar. The jaguar, the largest cat in South America, is a formidable predator.
With expert camouflage, they hide in shallow rivers and flooded grasslands.
They ambush prey and suffocate them with their powerful, muscular bodies.
Reaching nearly 30 feet, this prehistoric reptile is a nightmare come to life. But a larger, more terrifying creature once hunted in these same forests. During the Paleocene epoch, 6 to 6 million years ago, the world was vastly different. The king of the prehistoric world was not the T-Rex, but a giant, swamp-dwelling snake. High CO2 levels in the atmosphere created a greenhouse effect, heating the planet. It was the final, glorious era for the dinosaurs before their sudden extinction. Temperatures rose even higher, leading to a global catastrophe known as the Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum.
The impact and its aftermath devastated life on Earth, causing widespread destruction.
Over hundreds of thousands of years, the environment changed drastically, wiping out many species. Forest fires raged globally, and tsunamis destroyed coastlines, leaving the world in chaos. Volcanoes spewed massive clouds of smoke, further increasing CO2 levels in the atmosphere. The planet grew hotter, creating a greenhouse effect that lasted for millennia. In these conditions, the tropical regions of South America became a humid, swammy greenhouse. Lush, dense forests exploded in the flooded regions of Colombia, Venezuela, and Brazil. Nourished by near-daily rainfall, these forests remained in a state of constant humidity.
These forests were often flooded for weeks or months, creating a unique ecosystem.
Deep, muddy layers covered the swampy regions, creating a perfect habitat for giant reptiles. In these expansive ecosystems, cold-blooded animals like snakes, turtles, and crocodiles grew to massive sizes.
Cold-blooded animals cannot generate their own heat, so they rely on their environment.
Many cold-blooded animals thrived in these hot, tropical forests during the Paleocene epoch.
The most prominent among them was the giant snake, Titanoboa. Classified as Titanoboa cerrejonensis, it was also known as the giant snake from Cerrejón. This massive, semi-aquatic snake was unlike any other in history.
Based on fossil evidence, scientists believe Titanoboa reached an impressive length of 13 meters.
For comparison, the longest modern snake, the reticulated python, is about 10 meters long. If Titanoboa still existed today, it would easily hold the record for the longest snake. Beyond its incredible length, Titanoboa weighed over 1,000 kilograms, or 2,200 pounds. It was a unique combination of the boa and the anaconda.
Scientists cannot be certain which species it was more closely related to.
Titanoboa shared anatomical features with the boa, but behaved more like anaconda.
They spent most of their time submerged in shallow, murky water.
While hunting, Titanoboa would hide its massive body in layers of mud and water. It would ambush prey, gripping them with its hooked teeth and suffocating them.
With its immense size and strength, Titanoboa could hunt large prey in its ecosystem. It could hunt larger prey than any other predator in its environment.
This included crocodiles and other large reptiles that shared its habitat, including crocodiles and even other large snakes that lived in the same region.
By the end of the Paleocene epoch, Titanoboa vanished from the tropical regions.
The exact cause of its extinction remains a mystery to scientists today.
Perhaps it was affected by sudden changes in the Earth's climate. It may have been influenced by sudden shifts in the Earth's climate. During the late Paleocene and early Eocene, global temperatures rose rapidly. Average global temperatures increased by about 5 degrees Celsius. This event is known as the Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum. This global event caused widespread extinction across the planet. Mass migrations occurred, and the ecosystem on land and sea was disrupted. This global event caused widespread extinction across the planet, including the swamps and forests of South America. If Titanoboa survived the Paleocene-Eocene event, it would face even greater challenges. It would face many more challenges over the millions of years that followed. Millions of years later, the environment continued to change. About 34 million years ago, the Eocene-Oligocene transition marked the beginning of an ice age. The first major ice sheets and glaciers appeared on the planet. Ice sheets around the poles of the planet expanded significantly. The first major ice sheets and glaciers appeared on the planet.
CO2 levels in the atmosphere decreased.
Temperatures in even the hottest and most humid parts of the world dropped significantly. These cooler conditions threatened large, cold-blooded animals like Titanoboa. It would lower their body temperature and slow down their metabolism. Even if Titanoboa adapted to these changes, it could still be defeated. It could be defeated by many predatory mammals that dominated the planet, filling the ecological niches once occupied by dinosaurs. Predatory mammals dominated the dry grasslands, the forests of the Eocene epoch, and many other natural areas. But no species could threaten animals more than humans. Humans have lived in South America for thousands of years, hunting and killing animals, including species that were many times our size. During the last ice age, about 11,700 years ago, human hunting pushed giant mammals, like the woolly mammoth, to the brink of extinction. Woolly mammoths to the brink of extinction. In terms of pure physical strength, humans could never compete with a monster like Titanoboa, but by hunting in groups and using tools. Ancient humans could be a major threat if Titanoboa lived in that time. Ancient humans could be a major threat if Titanoboa lived in that time. If Titanoboa could overcome all these obstacles and exist in the world today, its impact could be profound, beyond what we can predict. Top predators can have a massive impact on the food chain.
The ecological balance would be affected if the predator population was reduced. The ecological balance would be affected if the predator population was reduced. For example, if Titanoboa existed today, its presence would affect the animal population.
Its presence would affect the animal population in the swamps, like turtles and crocodiles.
Like turtles and crocodiles. And crocodiles. Population decline could have unpredictable consequences.
And could not be easily fixed for the local food chain.
Over millions of years, it has become impossible to predict how a top predator would affect the world.
How a top predator would affect the evolution of the natural world.
But we can be certain that these giant snakes would affect our lives. These giant snakes would affect our lives. Only a few land-based carnivores, like bears or large cats, are known to attack humans. Like bears. Or large cats.
But if Titanoboa appeared, it would certainly be classified as the most dangerous.
Imagine walking through the deep woods of your home.
But the presence there is not a common snake, but a 13-meter-long monster.
Titanoboa was large enough to wrap its massive body around a car, overturn small boats, and swallow a human whole with ease.
Modern snakes, like the anaconda,
rarely attack humans.
But Titanoboa would be different.
They were much larger and could have developed a taste for large prey. According to theories, only a few places on Earth could support Titanoboa.
Like the forested swamps in the southern United States. This natural area acts as a flood basin for the Mississippi River. But Titanoboa would be different. This is the largest wetland in the United States. In terms of climate and diversity, Atchafalaya is similar to northern Colombia. 58 million years ago, making these forests and swamps capable of supporting all the large, cold-blooded carnivores. Farther to the east, another potential environment can be found for Titanoboa.
This is the subtropical wetland near southern Florida, known as the Everglades.
High temperatures and frequent flooding have turned these vast swamps into a breeding ground for a network of plants and animals. Among the cypress trees and vast swamps, there are over 50 species of snakes, including snakes. These are all natural prey for Titanoboa. Suppose Titanoboa survived to the modern era. It could still live in the lush forests of Colombia, navigating through the swampy forests and warm rivers.
Today, the Amazon rainforest may be drier, cooler, and have fewer trees than millions of years ago.
But it is still a humid, swampy environment year-round.
With average temperatures from 22 to 28 degrees Celsius.
And annual rainfall of up to 200 centimeters. The Amazon rainforest is a paradise for gods, dense with plant and animal life.
It is home to many species that humans have not yet classified.
According to theories, Titanoboa could also hunt and live somewhere deep in these lush forests.
But the Titanoboa of today may not be the same as the monsters of the past.
Some animals, like the African lungfish, have survived and remained unchanged for 400 million years.
But the lungfish is an exception, not the rule.
Most animal populations have gradually changed to cope with the fluctuations in their corresponding ecosystems.